Hello to the chicos, hello to the chicas. We are crossing the barrier, hopefully, of 2300 in today's... Well, actually, we are not going to be able to, but we are very close on today's episode of playing Principal Chess. And we are flexing our Slav muscles, hopefully, because, yeah, I was hoping for a classical Slav, because I think I have done a fair few videos already on the Catalan Gambit that I play against... the triangle Slav as per my club players E4 repertoire, D4 repertoire rather, recommendations. Now a6 is a bit of a weirdo. Obviously they are keen on playing b5. The two moves I'm contemplating are queen d3 and a4. But I'm leaning slightly toward a4 actually. Because then after dc knight e5, we're going to reclaim this pawn with a very nice looking position. So a4 it is. Not sure if they play knight d7 yet, whether I want to go back to normal Catalan territory or not. Or should I just play something like b3 and bishop b2 and just complete development? Okay, let's go. Let's go queen d3 and see what they do. This is now an important decision for black to make, because they can either take or they can just hold. Now, one benefit from my perspective, and you always want to think about these things when you're playing an opening where there is something slightly different from the way you know it. Like, this position would be fully my theory if these two moves had not been inserted. So now my brain is going on, what's the downside, what's the upside? And the upside is that if they play b6, bishop a6 is not playable afterwards. So that is something to be excited about. Now here I'm a bit concerned about b5. Because after queen takes c6, rook b8, I was a bit nervous about my queen coming out. This is definitely a very clumsy move that should have never even been considered, let alone played. And the reason for that is because I can kick it with bishop f4. And also it's begging for a5. And the latter, I think, is going to cause very serious trouble. Black really should have spent here a little bit of time on contemplating b5, queen c6, rook b8. That was a dynamic way to break out, and in my opinion, the correct one too. So bishop f4, b5, queen c6, bishop b7, may be playable because of queen c7. But like take, rook c8, there is a bit of a play there. I want to keep up the bind and just play a5. I'm expecting b5, ab, knight b6, and then the pawn structure is... somewhat damaged, but maybe I was a little bit careless here, because after b5, ab, knight b, if I just pull back to d3, which my initial intention was, c5 might be annoying, but then I have bishop f4. Okay, maybe we are good then. Maybe we are good. I think the most interesting thing so far about this opening, to my mind, was the possibility of b5 here, and whether that was utter bollocks or it was actually a decent idea. If he doesn't play b5, he's cooked. It's as simple as that. Maybe c5, but then again, bishop... Yeah, maybe c5 is also a move to consider. Yeah, okay, so let's see how we go with this. I take, we slide back to d3, c5, bishop f4. No c5, okay. Okay, this is interesting. AKA, it looks really bad. Knight e5 is my first gut reaction. Forcing the bishop to b7, interfering with the rook. That's already a win. As in a, you know, like... we certainly should do that. So let's go. Put your pieces in the center. That's the purpose of this speedrun. Demonstrating the power of principal chess. Ooh, okay. Okay. Queen c7. On the one hand, I'm very tempted to play e4. On the other, I would like to keep this diagonal open. If I could, I would really like to play here rook c1. But of course I can't, because there's a bishop on here. So I'm thinking bishop g5. Or maybe just bishop d2. But that means that I'm jettisoning a pawn. Yeah, I think we're going to go with e4. I don't see a better way to play than, once again, principally obtaining the center. Now, one thing that I didn't quite think through was the fact that now if I pull back to e2, they can play a5, bishop a6, which is a bit of a pain. I wish I had thought about it earlier, because queen e2 was my big plan. Yeah, maybe I will have to drop back to c4, which is a bit dodge, but it creates the threat of bishop f4. Yes, it does. And I'm also hanging the pawn. And note that this pin, whilst very annoying, is actually handleable on account of a simple b3 push. So overall, I think that the game has come to its untimely end because my opponent just blundered an exchange. In fact, probably more than an exchange, because I think a5 is also coming off. Note that take, bishop d6 doesn't work on account of bishop takes, queen takes e5, forking these two bad boys. Yeah, this is over. Which is not bad, 18 moves, and, you know, I'm... Oh, there is a trick here. So there is queen a7 here, with the cheeky idea that after bishop b8, rook a5, there is bishop c4. Oh, but it doesn't work, because I can take a7, they take e2, and I take back. Okay, they are truly cooked here. They are really well and truly cooked here. And again, people don't appreciate the power of this concept that this whole speedrun was about. I mean, look at my pieces. Right? Everything is perfectly developed, and I'm dominating the center. Absolutely dominating it. I'm not sure what this is all about, because now after queen takes, I have still e5 if I want to, as well as take e2, knight e2, and I'm up a piece for nothing. Yeah, I was going to go on a bit of a rant of this is a very undervalued speedrun amongst the speedruns, because I'm not promoting an opening, but instead good chess habits. Well, it is what it is. Do we want e5? Nah, I want to be rid of this pin. Let's go. GG. We're up a piece, and there's absolutely nothing that can hurt me. Knight c2, I'm thinking just play the lame rook a2. Defending the pawn. Take is also possible, by the way. But after rook a2, I'm threatening rook c1 and then picking off a5 still. This was very, very clean game, man. Very clean. Yep. If rook d8, e5, knight d5, rook here, knight b4, then we take the pawn. Nothing like calling the whole game. Yep. He's gonna go knight d3. I'm gonna take this, or I can play rook c2. Yeah, it appears that the resign button somehow has vanished on my opponent's browser. They cannot find it. Okay, so all you need to do, trade, not to blunder into some stupid backrank stuff. And then you are golden. I'm just stepping out of some back rank check followed by check and then jumpy, whatever. But in reality, oof. Yeah, this is what tends to happen when I'm too winning, that I become careless. So here, knight check here. Ay, okay, this was not a good one. Okay. I still can't quite just go in autopilot mode. Well, I sort of have already, but now we are regretting the consequences of that. So if rook f2, then I think, yeah, knight had to take. And now I'm thinking just king here. Yeah. Ay. There is a limited commentary here that I'm offering for the reasons that not a lot is going on, really. Is he going to check, rook check? Yeah, like he's trying to be cheeky. And I respect that. I really do. But in the end of the day, this is now... He's overstaying his welcome. He is definitely overstaying his welcome here. And now we've got mate. Check, and mate. GG! Okay, well, the move that... the game that essentially ended on 18 moves practically ended on 38. I'm looking at the score. Let's guess 92. Yeah, 92. Try again, boss. 95. And A5 was bad. Okay, so we will go back to that in uno momento. So let's get a proper game analysis. So A4 was not best. That's very interesting. So is it queen D3? No, it's B3. B3 was on the horizon. So what do I do after B5? Oh, C5, push in. I don't think I would have played that. Really? C5, A5, A3, Bishop A6. Oh, okay. Because they can't play B4. And if they play Bishop A6, then I play B4, and then this whole queen side is shut down. Okay, makes sense. Fair enough. Fair enough. So instead of queen D3, B3 still, which I contemplated. And B5. I told you, I so knew it. And see, this is a very, very interesting gap between a title player and a 2200 rapid. That instantly in this position I went like, surely it has to be B5. And it is B5. Now it doesn't quite equalize for black, but it's annoying. So after takes, rook A7 apparently is more accurate than rook B7. B8 rather, excuse me. And now I need to make a knight move if I don't want to lose my queen. So something like, oh, it's because now it introduces this. Holy. Ay. So it turns out that my only move here is this. And I would not have liked to play this at all. So, sack the pawn, baby. This was begging to be played. And even after rook b8, I reckon that this is somewhat decent. Oh no, because now there is the bishop f4, queen c7 idea that I was gonna go for in the other line. Yeah, but after rook a7, which I didn't see, but I felt that b5 was the way to go. It's actually very close, if not entirely equal for black. And so Yeah, b5 was the way to go. I'm very glad that I sensed it and I knew that this was the right way to play. I'm upset that I allowed it. But there's nothing to that I can do here. And bishop f4 was apparently the better move. And after b5, instead of take, I can just pull back to where? Oh, take first and then pull back. No. Oh, I can take now in queen c7. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. a5, bit of a miss, but even here I'm on plus 0.9, so I'll take it. Excuse me. Rook d1 was preferred. Weird. e4 good. Knight a4 was preferred here. I did consider this, didn't call it. I don't know why I didn't play it. Like, let's say rook d8, bishop d2. And then we've got this idea on the cards as well. Okay. Yeah, knight a4 is very handy because it stops c5, it defends the pawn on b2, so it allows all kinds of developing moves. It's a handy move to play, but e4 second best, so I'll take it. And I did say that a5 was bad on account of knight c4, which was a beautiful double attack here and here. And my opponent just walked into this. So queen a7 is best move here, by the way, for black, which I called. And my line went bishop b8, rook b8, and I wanted to take this. And that would have been a horrid blunder on account of queen d4. Thankfully, I would have, or hopefully, I would have noticed it, and I would have adjusted my thinking key to something like rook d1. Yeah, this is the move I would have played here, which is not best by the engine, by the way, but the engine's best is unplayable. It's knight to d1, which makes absolutely no sense. Queen d4, and then here. Why would you do that instead of rook d1? Hello? What? No way. No way. Yeah, okay, and yeah, my opponent, he just collapsed, and I made one careless move somewhere here. Oh! Getting a thumbsy-upsy. Rook b5 is what I would have played in hindsight if I had this game again on my hands. Yeah, and it was all over Red Rover. So, ladies and gentlemen, we resurrected the speedrun for a little bit. At least. Another very, very fun game. Easy victory, really. Yeah, it looks like putting your pieces in the center, developing and calculating a bit more than what feels comfortable still yields an easy victory every single time. Do that. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to comment down below. Please, please, please do leave comments. I like comments, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.